I still hear her laugh at night. It's not like normal laughing. It's sharp, high, like a bird screaming. And every time I hear it, my stomach twists. I can never forget what I saw. Her name was Ifunanya, but we all called her Ife. She was 12, quiet, always sitting alone under the mango tree at the edge of the village. Nobody ever really noticed her. She didn't play with other children. She didn't talk much. But her eyes always looked at you like they knew something you didn't. The first strange thing happened when Chijioke went missing. He was one of the strongest boys in the village, always laughing, always teasing everyone. One afternoon, he called Ife at which and threw a stone at her. It didn't hit her, but she looked at him. Just looked. That night, Chijioke didn't come home. His parents searched everywhere. The whole village searched. 3 days later, they found him. His body was floating in the river, bloated and pale. His eyes were wide open, staring at nothing. Everyone said it was an accident. But I saw Ife that day. She was sitting under the mango tree, humming to herself. She smiled when she saw me. After that, I started watching her. And I noticed things. Animals didn't go near her. Dogs barked at her from far away, but they never came close. Birds stayed out of the mango tree when she sat under it. Even adults seemed uneasy around her. They'd greet her and quickly walk away. One evening, I was fetching water from the stream when I saw her again. She was standing in the shallow water, her back to me. She wasn't wearing shoes, but the water didn't touch her feet. It just stayed still, like it was afraid to move. Ife. I called out. My voice sounded small. She turned slowly, her eyes glowing faintly in the fading sunlight. Her lips stretched into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Do you believe me now? She asked. Believe what? My throat felt dry. That I can do anything. That night, I couldn't sleep. Her voice kept echoing in my head. The next day, I told my grandmother. She spat on the ground and warned me to stay away from Ife. That girl carries darkness, she said. But it was too late. Ife had already noticed me. One night, I woke up to a soft knock on my window. My heart raced. Who would come at this hour? I stayed still, holding my breath. Then I heard her voice. Come outside, she whispered. I didn't move. I didn't even blink. The knocking stopped, but then I felt it. The air in my room grew cold, and the shadows on the walls began to shift. Come outside, she said again, but now her voice was inside my room. I screamed, and my parents rushed in. The moment they opened the door, the cold vanished. The shadows returned to normal. But I knew she was still out there, watching. The next morning, there was a mark on my door. A small, black handprint. My grandmother's face went pale when she saw it. She called the elders, and they came with charms and prayers. They burned herbs around our house and poured salt at every corner. But nothing worked. Ife didn't need to come close anymore. Wherever I went, I felt her. I heard her laugh in the wind, saw her shadow in the corner of my eye. People around me started falling sick. My best friend, Nkem, got a fever and never woke up. My mother twisted her ankle on flat ground. My father lost his job at the market. I knew it was her. One evening, I went to the mango tree. I didn't want to, but I had to. I needed to end it. She was there, waiting for me, as if she knew I was coming. Why are you doing this? I asked. My voice shook. She tilted her head, her eyes glowing faintly again. Because I can. I wanted to scream at her, to beg her, to do something. But my body froze. She stepped closer and whispered in my ear, "You'll see me again soon." I ran. I didn't stop until I was home. That night, my family packed our things and left the village. We moved far away. It's been years now, but sometimes, At night, I still hear her laugh.